Good evening, everyone. Welcome to my NLP Facebook Live. I can see a couple of people here already. Carmel here, Claire's here, Fabian's here. Welcome. So from me, it's a good morning, a good afternoon, or a good evening, depending whereabouts you are in the world, because I know we have people from all over the world watching our weekly Facebook Lives. So this evening, I'm going to do something a little bit different because this week I've had a lot of questions from people as far as what NLP is. Mike Walton, hi Mike. What NLP is, why you might want to learn it, what NLP training is, all of these kind of things. Hi Remco, good to see you. And particularly a lot of people who did the UPW 2018 have been asking questions about that. So if there's anybody here from a UPW 2018 group, if you're watching right now, then welcome. And if you're watching the recording, then I hope I can provide you some useful information. So this evening, what I'm going to talk about is essentially what NLP is. Because I've realized that a lot of my Facebook Lives have been really aimed at people already possibly experienced in NLP rather than new to NLP. So I'm going to go a grassroots kind of from the beginning here as to what NLP is, what might be in it for you in learning NLP personally. Then also I've had some questions about the levels of NLP training and those kind of things, what they are, what they mean. And then also the fact that I don't just teach NLP, I do other things as well. So that's what we've got lined up for you this evening. So let's get cracking with that. Just want to share a slide with you, if I may. There we go. And the next slide. That's the one. Okay, so, what is NLP? And there's so many different definitions of NLP out there. And this is probably my favorite. The difference that makes the difference to your success and your life. NLP for me is a success technology. My whole thing, I'm not a natural presenter, I'm not a natural salesperson, I'm not a natural entrepreneur. But in around about 91, 92, I decided I wanted to be a speaker, a presenter. And I'd already set up my own business and failed miserably because I wasn't getting any sales. So, what do you do if you're not a natural? Because, you go to somebody who is a natural and you ask them, how do you do what you do? And they haven't got a clue. They don't know how they do it. You ask other people, how do they do that? How does he present that way? How does he speak that way? How does he manage to get so many sales in? Whatever. And they go, oh, David, they're a natural. They were born that way, And I wasn't. So everything that I do now and everything I've done in my business for the last 25 years as a speaker, a presenter, a trainer, entrepreneur, and salesperson, I learned. And I have NLP to thank for that, because it made it so easy for me to put a structure around how do you present and speak, a structure around how do you sell, a structure around how do you become an entrepreneur, run multiple businesses, a structure around how do you do coaching, how do you do therapy, whatever it may be that you're actually wanting to do. So that's why I think it's so exciting, and also why I'm still so excited about it 25 years in, is because I know that people, when they start learning it, no matter what it is that they want to do, whether it's something they're doing already, they just want to get better at it, or it's something that they haven't done yet and they want to do it and they want to become world class, then NLP will enable you to do that. Hi, Lisa. I've just seen Lisa's come online as well. And also we've got Marina. Marina, hi. probably in Spain. Monica, who else we got? Daniel, and a whole number of people, and Lydia Maro in Puerto Rico. Excellent. And Bridget Kersop. Wow, we've got a real international group of people. Hi, Vincent. Yes, I'm going to give you some resources, Vincent. At the end of this presentation, we can go and find out some more stuff. So let's move on now. We've done our welcomes and all that kind of stuff. So what is NLP? So what are the ways that NLP has been described? Is that it's an attitude and a methodology that leaves behind a trail of techniques. So let me explain that a little bit more. And they are in order of importance. So the attitude is more important than the methodology, and the methodology is more important than the techniques. And, the attitudes of NLP are the attitudes in general of successful people. So the first is the attitude of curiosity. Being really curious about other people. I was doing our Masters of Influence training last weekend, and I said that, master influencers are interested rather than interesting. World-class coaches, world-class therapists are interested rather than interesting. World-class salespeople are interested in their customer rather than interesting. And I was thinking about this just before I went live, and I think probably, there's a slight exception, though it's only a little bit of an exception, is that if you want to be a world-class presenter, a world-class speaker, a world-class trainer, then do you need to be interesting? I believe you do. That's one of the things. But you also need to be interested. You need to be interested in your audience first, so that you know how to be interesting for this particular audience. So the curiosity really is the curiosity of really getting inside somebody else's mind. What's their world like? How do they experience things? What's important to them? What do they believe? That's really the curiosity, the driving force of being curious about, who are these people? How do they think? But equally, if we want to model excellence, then we've got to get curious about our models of excellence. So that's the first one. Now, if we go to the second one, then we've got wanton experimentation. So wanton experimentation is your willingness to do anything, to do whatever it takes to get the result you want, including doing things that you've never done before. You might have heard that saying, if you always do what you've always done, you'll always get what you've always got. And that's really around the wanton experimentation. I've made a modification on that for my training seminars, which is this: if you always do what you've always done, you'll always learn what you already know. And my guess is that the reason you're watching this live, the reason why you come and do training with me, is you want to learn some new things. So wanton experimentation. Now this is something that a lot of people that aren't as successful as they'd like to be lack. Because wanton experimentation means taking action, doing something you've never done before. So you have no way of knowing in advance whether it's going to work or not. And doing it anyway, just to find out what the result would be. And if you don't get the result you want, then, you've learned that's not the way to get it, so then do something else. The majority of people who aren't successful don't do that. They keep doing the same thing that they've been doing over and over again, whether it's working or not. Now, the third attitude, this one here, acting as if, is actually the attitude that will enable you to have wanton experimentation. Because what acting as if means is, you're about to do something, you've never done it before, you have no clue whether it's going to work or not. And what you do is that you act as if, you act with certainty that it's an absolute guarantee that it's going to work, even though you have no clue whether it's going to work or not. That's what acting as if is. Now, if you think about it, this is something. Hi, Peda. Great to see you. Thanks for joining us. And you had all of these attitudes in bucket loads when you were a kid. When we were kids, we were curious about everything. We were into everywhere. We got to be into every single box, every single cupboard, every single place we went. We were massively curious. We experimented. If you think about it, if you weren't able to do wanton experimentation, you'd have never learned to walk. There was that one time that you went, okay, I'm going to get up on my feet and walk. You probably fell on your ass very quickly afterwards, but you were willing to do it. So kids experiment, they do things for the first time. And, the attitude of acting as if was called something different when we were kids. It was called pretending. Did you ever pretend that you could do something? Did you ever pretend you were somebody else, when you were a kid? And did you ever get to that point where you started to wonder whether you were still pretending or not, or whether it was real? Well, NLP, the attitudes of NLP, is a bit like reversing this massively overrated process that we call growing up and becoming more childlike. It's about becoming curious once again about everything, about everybody. It's about playing. I actually, on my Masters of Influence course this weekend, I retitled NLP. I called it Now Let's Play, so that people could actually go out and play with NLP techniques, so they could actually find out what happened. And if we play with it, we're not worried whether it works or not. We just, pretend we can do it. So these are the attitudes of NLP, but they are the attitudes of success in general. Now, once we've got those particular attitudes in place, then the methodology that created NLP in the first place was the methodology of modeling. And what the creators of NLP, Richard Bandler and John Grinder, actually did was that they modeled true models of excellence. They started out in the world of therapy, because around about this time, this was the early 1970s, on average, if you got a particular presenting problem and you went to see a psychotherapist, for instance, then you would be expecting to be working with that therapist for hundreds of hours. In fact, Freud actually said himself that with his talking cure, that his clients would have to be well healed, because it would take at least 400 to 500 hours for them to get any kind of result. Now, in the early 70s, there were three people. There was Milton Erickson, a medical doctor, psychiatrist, and hypnotherapist. There was Virginia Satir, family therapist, and there was Fritz Perl, the creator of Gestalt therapy. And they were getting results, life-changing results with a client in 10 or 15 hours. An unheard of rapid kind of result. So what Richard Bandler and John Grinder did was they went and modeled these three people. And by modeling, what do I mean by that? They were looking at what these people were doing with their physiology, how they were communicating with their physiology, their body, if you like, their body language, some people might call it. They were also investigating how they structured their language, how they spoke to other people, but then also their own thought processes, how they, their own beliefs, their values, the internal strategies that they were running internally whilst they were working with the clients. And what they then did was they took on the same kind of physiology. They took on the same use of language. They changed their own thinking to the same as these models of excellence. And much to their surprise, they got the same results. So out of this modeling came a number of techniques, which today we know as traditional NLP. They then moved on to presenters, speakers, modeling people like JFK, Martin Luther King, and also then going on to model top real estate sales agents in California. You know, people who were earning a serious amount of money from selling. And what they found was that the patterns of physiology, the patterns of language, the patterns of thinking actually correlated between all of these three groups. But if you think about it, if we were to kind of like, from an NLP point of view, chunk up on therapy, chunk up on public speaking, chunk up on selling, what we've got is influence. So what came out of NLP, came out of those studies, was a whole series of techniques which enable us to both influence ourselves and influence other people to be able to create the kind of results that we want. Hi, Lewis. How are you? Good to see you. Nice for you to join us. Cheryl Blackman is here as well. And Adam. Adam, how's the book going? Great to see you guys all here today. So, and I say they are and Peter Strachan. Hi, Peter. Great to see you. These are in order of importance. So the techniques are the least important, methodology is next most important, and the attitude is the most important, in that if you haven't got the attitude in place, the methodology is not going to work. And if you haven't got the methodology in place, then the techniques aren't going to work. So what we've got therefore from that is, if we go to our next slide, then NLP will actually enable you to do anything and everything better. So if there's a certain thing that you're able to do at this particular point in time, it will enable you to dramatically increase your effectiveness and increase the results that you get from that. If you're a salesperson, if you're a coach already, if you're a therapist already, if you're a speaker, a presenter already, if you're a business owner, including things, you know, outside of the business world. It will enable you to relate more effectively in your relationships with your partner and your family. It will enable you to change the kind of results. Hi, Emily. Great to see you. Change the kind of results that you're getting in your own health and fitness, your own personal development. It will enable you to learn more easily. It will enable you, you know, whatever it is that you want to apply NLP to, it will enable you to do it better and get better results more quickly and more easily than you normally would. And that's the thing I absolutely love about it. Now, you know, I work with many private clients, and they come to me with all manner of presenting problems, all manner of things that they want to be able to do that they can't currently do, or that they're struggling with doing, etc. And by using our NLP techniques, then we can enable them to get significantly greater results really fast, which is great. Plus, also a lot of people come to an NLP training because they're looking to change their business, change their career in some way, shape, or form. You know, maybe they've got a dream. I know I certainly did, of working in the empowerment space. You know, in some way, shape, or form, of being a coach, of being a therapist, of being a presenter, a speaker, or a trainer, or a personal trainer, but they don't know how to do it. And certainly through your NLP training, you'll be able to learn how to do that and how to get results with your clients. Also, of course, you'll learn how to sell and how to present and speak too. So, you know, being in the empowerment space is a fantastic way of making a living. I've been doing it now for the performance partnership for 25 years, but I'd started a little bit before then. And it's a wonderful way of contributing to change the planet, which is one of my, or changing the thinking of the world is my purpose. But also being able to make a very nice living out of that. So let's have a look then, because I know I've been asked some questions, and already some of the questions on online as well have been about this. So this is what I call the NLP training pyramid, which really fits everything in here. And whoever you do your NLP training will have a similar kind of pyramid to this. So right at the bottom of the pyramid, there's what we might call like introduction trainings. I have two particular introduction trainings. Fix Your Mind is a 2-day training where you learn to use the principles of NLP and particularly timeline therapy to be able to literally sort your mindset out. Over and over again, I see business trainers saying that success in business is 95% mindset, 5% strategy, and then they do a training which is 95% strategy and 5% mindset. And people come out of it wondering why they've learnt all this stuff and they can't make it work. They're not successful. So Fix Your Mind is mindset. It literally enables you to get rid of negative emotions like anger, sadness, fear, and guilt from events in the past, get rid of limiting beliefs, align your values, etc., and set goals in the future in a way that they actually happen. Then our Masters of Influence intro, that's a 3-day training. That integrates Cialdini's 6 rules of influence, what I call street NLP, Ericksonian hypnosis, but not for therapy, and cold reading, like Darren Brown does. With one sole purpose. How do you become a master of influence? Then, if you want to get certification in NLP and really dig under the hood, if you like, then the first level of that is a practitioner training. And the practitioner training is 7 days. It's got pre-study, which I'll tell you about in a moment. And the practitioner training is really about how do you learn to use NLP to do what you're currently doing better. So if you're already a salesperson, it enables you to do selling better. If you're already a coach, it enables you to coach better. Take a really quantum leap. But it's also about your own personal development, because one of the things that's very important for me is that I believe that the best coaches, the best NLP practitioners are those people that have had the most powerful personal results of NLP working for them. So the practitioner training is a massive personal development experience too. Then there's the master practitioner. If you choose to take it further, let's say that you wanted to become a coach, or you wanted to do personal therapy, change work, but you'd never done that before, then the master practitioner will teach you how to use NLP in areas that you're not currently experienced in, whether it be as a business consultant, a business coach, a personal coach, a life coach, a therapist, a presenter, a trainer, any of those kind of things. It really expands your ability to use these powerful tools right across the board with other people as well as yourself. Then, you might then go, well, actually what I'd like to do is I'd like to teach other people NLP. This is what I did. I did my practitioner training way back in 1993, and I decided that, literally my experience was so massive that I went, right, everybody should have the ability to be able to learn NLP. Which is why I wanted to set up the Performance Partnership. So my goal at that point in time was to become a trainer of NLP, which means then you're trained in how to use NLP as a trainer. Now, no matter what it is that you teach, using NLP in your structuring of your trainings and the delivery of your trainings will skyrocket the results that your students will get. It really does. It enables people to learn significantly quicker and more easily. As well as you actually then also being able to do your own, run your own practitioner or master practitioner trainings. Then you'll see the top of the pyramid is master trainer, and the master trainer program is 5 years. Don't worry, it's not 5 years locked in a room with me. We'd all need therapy after that. But the Master Trainer program actually enables you to train trainers. So so then you could run practitioner, master practitioner, and trainers trainings, and have your own NLP training institute, just like the Performance Partnership, wherever you are in the UK or wherever you are in the world. And we can take you to all of those levels, and I'll show you where you can find out more about that in a little while. And then, one of the other questions I get asked is, why not just NLP? Because if you've been to any of my events, if you've been around any of the things I do, then you'll have found that in actual fact, I don't just teach NLP. I do more than that. So NLP, let me just explain how these things fit together. So NLP, for me, is the single most powerful set of tools to enable you to take control of your own mind, to enable you to take control of your own brain. To literally take control of your thinking so that your brain, your nervous system actually does what you want it to do. And I don't know of anything better available today to enable people to do that. It also enables you to structure your communication, structure your questioning of other people, structure your language when you communicate with other people to get the kind of results you want. Then you'll see there on the left-hand side of the diagram, we've got hypnosis. Hypnosis is way more than you might think from stage hypnosis and all those kind of things. Hypnosis is the most effective, powerful techniques and tools to enable people to communicate with their own unconscious mind. And the kind of results that people can get once they effectively communicate with their unconscious mind actually is quite mind-boggling. The kind of things that I've experienced whilst using hypnosis has been quite amazing. If you look at some of the earlier Facebook Lives or even on my YouTube channel, then you'll see some demonstrations of that which demonstrate the true power of hypnosis. Then on the right hand side there we've got timeline therapy. Timeline therapy is a set of tools and techniques that enable you to have your clients to have their conscious and their unconscious mind work together in the way that they were actually initially created and designed to do. So beautiful techniques created by my friend Tad James, who I trained with originally 25 years ago, that enable people to get emotional choice, enable people to let go of emotions like anger and sadness and fear and hurt and guilt from events in the past, to be able to get rid of limiting beliefs and limiting mindsets like I'm not good enough, to align their values, to literally upgrade their values, if you like, to values that will enable them to navigate through the world today. And finally, to set goals in a way that they actually happen. Quite often on trainings I say, how many people here set a goal and you achieved it? And people put their hands up. And how many people here set a goal and you didn't achieve it? And same people put their hands up. So what's the difference that makes the difference? And timeline therapy is one of those tools and techniques that I use for that. Then you'll see at the top of the pyramid there, we have Hawaiian Huna. And I go out to Hawaii twice a year to teach our Huna intensives. And Huna adds another dimension to it. Huna adds the dimension of energy. So the concept of energy doesn't really appear in NLP or hypnosis or timeline therapy. Though, we are energetic beings. We do connect with each other energetically. We do influence each other energetically. And Huna brings in that level of energy, that spiritual dimension, that we're way more than we think we are, that we are infinitely connected with everything and everybody. And for want of a better word, adds a dimension of magic to the things that we do. So to varying degrees, the programs that we run have elements and aspects of all of these things. Our For instance, our NLP practitioner and master practitioner includes certification in NLP, NLP coaching, hypnosis, and timeline therapy. Plus, I do some morning sessions on HUNA for those people who want to find out more about it. We do, as I say, HUNA intensives and HUNA intros. And we can enable you to get to the top level of being able to train other people in all of those things. So I realize I'm up to my 30 minutes. So I try to keep these things to 30 minutes because I know you've got other things to do. So I hope that's been useful for you to get some ideas about what might be, what NLP is and what might be in it for you, to learn it, particularly if it's something that's new to you. And I wanted to leave you with some, resources to look at too. So, if you want to do, live training, then you can go to the performancepartnership.com website. Though I've got some of the great free resources for you there. If you go to performancepartnership.com and then go to the free resources menu option, then there's a recommended reading list because a number of people both on Facebook, on Quora, and on Reddit have been asking about what books I would recommend. So there is a full reading list there available for you. There's also an A to Z of techniques. So if you've heard of a particular technique, you can look it up in the A to Z. It will tell you what book you can find that technique in and also what training it's covered in. Plus there's also details of all of the rest of the trainings that I'm running for the rest of this year. If you're interested in being able to start learning about NLP and timeline therapy and hypnosis, outside of the live training, then I created an online training resource. I've been recording and filming NLP trainings probably now for around about 15 years. And these are always on physical CDs, physical DVDs, physical manuals. But with the advances of technology, then we're actually able to do that in other ways. So I created an app so that you can listen to, like, Selling Magically, Presenting Magically, the NLP Practitioner Home Study, the Home Study for Master Practitioner. All of those kind of things are available on your smartphone or on your tablet. And I decided to create it like Netflix, so you can get full access to it for a month, to access it and, use it for free. If you cancel before the end of that month, you'll pay nothing. My goal is to provide so much value in there that you continue your subscription, which is just £6.99 per month, just like Netflix. So let me just get the screen back. Yeah, so there we are. So I hope that Facebook Live was useful for you. We've certainly had a good number of people here. I don't know if I've managed to say hello to everybody. I noticed somebody was saying that we're going to see me at the NLP conference on Saturday. If you haven't booked already, I think you can probably still book. I'm speaking on the Saturday morning at the International NLP conference here at Heathrow. I'm doing a 3-hour session on speakers of influence, the 30 things that master trainers do from the stage, which I've never taught outside of my NLP master practitioner training before. So if you're there, please come and say hello. We'll see. If not, then we'll see you next Thursday here on my Facebook Live. So good to see you all. Have a great morning, great afternoon, great evening, depending on whereabouts in the world you're watching this from, and also when you're watching it, because I know a lot of people watch it on the recordings. See you again. Thanks for being here.